So I want to make an overall address to Umar Nurmagomedov because there are a lot of things that have been brought up about him, and his fight and his performance and what's next and this and that and this. First and foremost, we'll start with the hand. Umar broke his hand, I think, in round one. Didn't tell his coach about it and proceeded to fight with a broken hand. So that's kind of fucked up in general. But still, what happens in the fight happens in the fight. You still lose either way. Okay. Khabib was awful as a cornerman, as a coach. Lost his cool, pouted, cried, whined. Not what you want to do as a coach. It only sent a poor message to your fighter, and it sent a poor message to Umar. It made Umar real fucking frustrated, flustered, confused, you name it. And then now there's like also 4K video of Khabib's reaction to the decision. As soon as Merab gets his hand raised, you can see Khabib and the expressions he's got, the frustration, the sadness, all that shit you can see in 4K. So not a great look. And then also, my main point is the Dagestani curse broken? Is there a crack? Is Dagestan no longer on the map in terms of fighting base and MMA base and the best grappling and the best whatever in MMA? No, Dagestan is still very much at an all-time high in my opinion in terms of grappling and even in some forms of striking. It's still up there. I think there's a crack. I think the Dagestani curse isn't broken, but there's a crack in it. And I say there's a crack because we don't have this handful of guys and this new fighting style that can rival it. We have one person. Merab Dvalishvili's fighting style is not something that you just teach everybody. It's not. Not everybody has the level of cardio and pressure and drive Merab has. I think it's more of a biological thing than a teachable, local dojo thing. Only Merab's kids kind of get that natural, God-given talent. Not, a protege or some kid from the streets that comes to Merab's gym and Merab bestows upon him the Merab way. None of that shit happens. None of that shit is going to happen. Okay? That's why I call it a crack. That's why I say that the Dagestani curse and the Dagestani way of fighting is still top tier. It's still the way of fighting. It's going to stay that way until we see a new fighting form come up or a new culture come up. Not one singular person. So that's why there's a crack. There will always be a crack because Merab has done it. Merab beat a, bread and butter Dagestani way guy. He beat Khabib's cousin. Khabib's fucking cousin. That's a Nurmagomedov. That's a guy that's been training with Khabib for a fucking long time. Got beaten by Merab. I don't want to say he wasn't dominated by Merab, but got beaten. He got beaten. He got, for lack of a better term, he got overshadowed. He faded as Merab began to rise. Okay, he got beaten. So, where do we move from here with the crack? Not very far until Ilya versus Islam, in my opinion. Or until Islam moves to middleweight. Then we see a huge potential in the whole Dagestani, empire, Dagestani metaphorical empire breakdown. Is when Islam Makhachev takes a loss. That's when we see it. That's when we see it start to change. That's when the timeline of the UFC and MMA in general starts to change. Is when we see the Dagestani face the Dagestani golden boy, for lack of a better term, in Islam Makhachev, when we see that start to fall apart. And it will if he takes a loss. And if he takes a convincing loss, like one against Dricus or like one against Ilya. If Islam moves to welterweight, I think he kicks a lot of welterweight ass. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think he most likely will get the belt. But that's asking for a lot because he actually doesn't even want to fight Bilal or Shavkat in the first place. So, the next best thing is him moving to middleweight. And if he moves to middleweight, I think he gets. I think there's a really strong case for him to take a lot of L's from a lot of really tall middleweight guys. It's just how it plays out biologically, Not a lot of short guys at divisions made for tall guys come out on top, with the exception of like a Yoel Romero. And that's about all that comes to mind in terms of short fighters at larger weight classes. But yeah, Islam isn't that short. Islam's not like 5'7", but he's 5'10". And 5'10" is not 6 foot, and it's not 6'1", and it's not 6'2". And it damn sure ain't 6'3" or 6'4". It's short for that division. And that's why I'm still concerned about Islam's well-being at that division. But it all remains to be seen, and only time will tell. Trying to see if I've missed anything about this overall, because now I'm going back to Umar. And bottom line about Umar, he took a loss. He definitely can come back. He definitely has the number of a lot of guys at bantamweight, just not Merab. And Merab is certifiable now that he's the bantamweight GOAT. He's surpassed Aljo. He's ran through all these huge fucking names, and he's the bantamweight GOAT now. And I don't think, trying to think about any potential threats. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Merab Dvalishvili owns his division. Yep. It is now officially safe to say that Merab, the Machine Dvalishvili, owns his division. He's the owner of the bantamweight division. I think he has a number of every bantamweight fighter until the brother of Ilia Topuria enters the league, or the weight division. Until the brother of Ilia Topuria officially enters the UFC, then we may have a problem in terms of Merab officially owning his division. But as of right now, before Ilia Topuria's brother has any UFC fight, Merab Dvalishvili does own his division. I think he has the number of every bantamweight fighter in the weight division, especially Sean O'Malley, who will likely be fighting Merab next. But I disagree with that. I think Peter Yan should fight Sean O'Malley, and the winner of that fight gets to fight Merab next. And that's what I hope the UFC does. I doubt they do, because they really, really love Sean O'Malley so much that they're likely going to give him another red carpet ride to a title shot, So, I hope O'Malley fights Peter Yan. I doubt it happens. I think he's going to get the immediate rematch with Merab. And that fight is an interesting one that I will talk about in another video. So overall, you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.